It's the start of the month, which could only mean one thing. It's time to choose my TBR for the month. So I actually asked a couple of days ago over on my Instagram whether you would prefer another TBR cards choose my monthly TBR, or whether you'd rather me choose it in a different way. And it ended up being like 60-40 for TBR cards choose. So we're going to do that again this month. There are still new ones in here that we haven't come across yet. So I'm hoping that we're going to get some new ones today. I literally love filming these videos. And as for last month's TBR, I actually did better than the month before. Out of the 8 that we chose last month, I read 5 of those ones, which I feel like is pretty good going. That's the best that I've done so far from a TBR pile that we've actually picked out. Because you know me by now, I really struggle to keep to a TBR just because I am such a mood reader. Like, the book that I fancy reading at that time is purely based on my mood. So that's really hard to kind of plan for when choosing a monthly TBR. But we're going to do kind of similar to how we did it last month and try and get some different genres on there, because I found that because I had different genres to choose from, I was kind of gravitating more to my TBR pile than my others. So we're going to do 8 again. I actually ended up reading 10 books, I think, in April, which is just crazy. I think that's the most I've read so far in one month. So I do feel like 8 is a good number. And maybe this will be the month that I read all 8 of them. Who knows? I'm not making any promises, but who knows? But we're going to do 8 again. Let's pick our 8 TBR cards. And I'm not going to look at any of them. We'll look at them one by one together. 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay, put the rest of them away. Okay, so as always, we have a few piles to choose from. I've moved what I call my immediate TBR, so these are the books that are more on my priority reads kind of pile, and they tend to be newer books that I've got that I'm most excited about. So I've moved that over here, so we've got a couple piles actually, and then we also have my ARC pile, which I can't even believe I have an ARC pile, but so these are new releases that I've kindly been sent a proof copy of. We have that pile to choose from as well. And then we have the back 2 piles here. So if you're new here, these 2 piles I have read, and then these 2 piles are my longest TBR, as in they're the books that have been here for the longest time, which is basically books that are not on my priority TBR. So we have the back 2 piles, and then we also have my priority TBR and everything. Now last month I tried to choose everything from my priority TBR, and I think that's partly why I managed to read more than I usually do from a set TBR pile, because they were books that I was really excited about. So we'll see how this month goes. I do have quite a few new books on my priority TBR, which I would like to read sometime soon. But we'll see. The cards decide. So it's out of my hands really. I'm just giving these a quick shuffle. I'm like looking at these books and I'm like, I have no idea what I fancy reading at the minute. I could literally be choosing any of these. And as always, I'm going to let you read the first one. Choose a book where the blurb starts with the word it. Okay. Ooh, this is going to require some searching. Okay, I found one, literally only one, and that's This Could Be Everything by Eva Rice. I don't really know that much about what this is about, but I feel like it's going to give similar vibes to Where the Crawdads Sing. I don't know why it gives me that vibe, but it just kind of does. I think because it feels like a book that's going to be centred around one girl. I think that's why it gives me the same vibe. But this starts with it's. It says it's 1990, so there we have our first book for our first prompt. Okay, second prompt. Choose a book which has a one-word title. I feel like this is actually going to be harder than I think it is, because I have a lot of the something. Like, a lot of the Freedom of Freedom books that I have are like The Co-worker or The Inmate. Like, it's all, which technically isn't one word. Oh, we have the perfect one. Powerless by Elsie Silver. So last month I read Heartless, which is the second one, and you have no idea how excited I've been for this one. I just feel like this is going to be one of my favourites in the whole series. This is focused on Jasper, and Jasper in the first 2 books, every single time he's been mentioned or he's been in a scene, I've been like, who on earth are you? Because I need to know more. I literally need to know more. And there's been a lot hinted with him and Sloane, so I'm so excited to find out what is actually going on there. And he's also a hockey player, which we love, and I think it's like childhood friends to lovers, so it's got the tropes that I love in it, and I just feel like I'm gonna love this, and I've been so excited to get to this one. So for a one-word title we have Powerless. Okay, third prompt. Choose a book written by a male author. This is where I'm like, do I even have any? That's really interesting. Okay, Okay, we actually have a few options. I didn't realise that I did have this many. And by this many, I mean 3. But we have TikTok by Simon Mayo. This has actually come from the back pile. I actually didn't get this that long ago, and I have been really wanting to read it. I feel like it's just going to be a bit of a different read, a bit of a different genre to what I usually gravitate towards. It's giving sort of sci-fi medical thriller, basically. So that's our first option. Our second option is The Mother by T.M. Logan, whose first name is Tim. Who would have known? I did just have to look that up, but this one I've heard really good things about, and this is on my priority TBR. So I have been really wanting to get around to this at some point. And then we have Do No Harm by Jack Jordan, which I'm really intrigued by, and it has come from the back pile, but in my head it is a priority read. So that's very much an option as well. And I don't really know that much about this one either, other than that it's a thriller and it's about a surgeon who... I don't know. I literally don't know, but it sounds interesting. I feel like it's going to be between these two. Sorry, Simon Mayo, you're going back on the shelf for now. I feel like we're going to go for The Mother because I nearly put this up in April a few times. So I feel like we're going to go for this one. We're going to put this one on our TBR for written by a male author. Next up, we have Choose a Book, which has a person on the cover. I feel like this is going to give me quite a few options, actually. I say that and then I can't find a single one. That's actually not as many as I thought. We have 3 to choose from. Oh no, we have 4. Okay, I'm gonna whiz through our options. First up we have You've Reached Sam, which has 2 people on the cover. This is a sad romance by book. Then we have The Catch by Amy Lee, which is giving small town summer romance. And then we have Love in the Time of Serial Killers, which I don't know whether this is a romance or... I think it's like a true crime based romance, which is interesting, and I also absolutely love this cover. I love the retro vibe. And then we have The Perfect Wife, which has a person up there. Ignore the sticker. Ignore it. I still need to take them off. This I actually bought recently, but I've heard so much about J.P. Delaney. Is that a male author? It is. Could have had this for the other prompt. I am intrigued because this author has a lot of hype. So there's also this one, which is just a thriller, and I think it's centered around a married couple. It's hard because right now what I would choose maybe isn't what I would choose when it actually comes to reading it, you know? Why am I so indecisive? Let's do what I'm not in the mood for. Okay. Maybe not The Cat. We're going to put this one back. This one I feel like you just have to be in the right mood to read a sad book. And I don't know if that's going to come around in the next month. We're going to put this one back. We're left with these 2. My gut instinct is going to go for this one, I think. This is just more what I'm in the mood for. And the fact that it's giving true crime but also romance is really intriguing me. We're going to go for this one. So we're halfway through. We've got 4 prompts to go. I'm going to let you read the next one. Choose a book whose title starts with a number. Ooh. Okay, we have 2 options for this. First one is One Good Thing by Alexandra Potter. This is just giving really easy summer vibe read. I really like this cover as well. I really like the colours. And then we have Seven Summers by Paige Toon, which I just feel like I'm going to love this. I don't know why, I just have that feeling about it. We're going to go with Seven Summers because I have really been wanting to read this. We're going to go with this one. Next prompt, choose a book which has 5 words in the title. Okay, let me just work this one out real quick. I have the perfect one for this. I have the perfect one. This is a book that I've recently got and I've been desperate to read it, and that's The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, which is the second one to Once Upon a Broken Heart. I read Once Upon a Broken Heart last week. I finished it a couple of weeks ago and I have been so excited to start the second one. So I've literally only just got this, but I'm so excited that we get to pick it this month because literally ever since I finished the first one I was like, I need to buy the second one. I need it. And lucky for me, it's 5 words. I'm excited about that. Choose a book which alternates narrators or timelines. Okay, this could be interesting. I feel like this is going to be any Freida McFadden because she does this a lot. And I would quite like a Freida McFadden book on there. We only have 1 thriller on there at the minute. Okay, we're going to go for Freida McFadden. So the options we have are The Co-Worker or The Inmate. This one alternates both narrators and timelines, and this one alternates just timelines. This one has been on my TBR for longer, but this one I've been so excited about. So I really don't know. I feel like I should go on what I'm feeling right now. And right now I think I would pick The Co-Worker. Just because every time I look at this I think, what are you actually about? What is it? What's going on there? We're gonna go with the co-worker. And also because this is changing both narrator and timeline, I feel like we've really nailed the prompt. So I can't not choose it. And we're on to our final prompt. I'm gonna let you do the honours, of course. Choose a book which has a dedication to mum. Ooh, give me a minute while I just work this one out. We have to my parents, but I feel like there will be one that says to mum. Perfect! Oh, that's really good because this is actually a book that I've really been wanting to read. We have Mile High by Liz Tomford, which is the first one in the Windy City series. And this is such a chunky book, which is kind of intimidating me, but I have really been wanting to read this. And I've heard so much hype about this whole series, and I just want to know what it's about. I want to know. And this one says, to my mum, which is perfect. Perfect. And that's our last prompt, so let's just run through them really quickly. First up, we have This Could Be Everything by Eva Rice. This is giving summer, it's giving coming of age story, and I feel like it's going to give something a bit different to just a romance. I don't even know whether there is romance in here. I would assume that there is. Yeah, the chaos of first love, so it's got first love in it. I love anything to do with first love. I don't know why. That's just a trope that I really like. And it's also coming of age, which I also really like, and I haven't read a coming of age sort of story in a while, I think, so I'm excited about this one. And then we have Powerless by Elsie Silver, which I feel like I'm gonna love. I feel like I'm just gonna love it. Childhood best friends to lovers, hockey romance, it's giving soulmates, it's giving meant to be, it's giving impromptu road trip. Okay, it's giving all the vibes. And I'm so here for it. And then we have The Mother by T.M. Logan, which I have been wanting to read for so long. And I keep seeing this author's books in the works and Tesco, and I'm really intrigued by them. And I want to read this one before I buy any more, just to see if I like his writing style. But I just feel like this is going to be a really good crime thriller. And then we have Love in the Time of Serial Killers, which I have just been really excited about. I've not really heard that much about this one. This is just one that I saw and I was like, I need that book. And it's got true crime in it, which I love anything to do with true crime. But it's also a romance, which intrigues me. I feel like it's going to be a bit different to your bog standard romance. And then we have Seven Summers by Paige Toon, which is another one that I've been so excited about. I've actually heard recently people raving about this book, which just makes me more excited. This kind of gives me the vibe that it's going to be what I hoped November 9 by Colleen Hoover was going to be. I don't know if that makes sense, but I had really high hopes for that book, and this is kind of giving the vibe of what I wanted that book to be. And then we have The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. One of my most anticipated reads at the minute, because I've heard so many good things about this whole series, but especially about this one book. I just feel like this is going to be where it all kicks off. This is going to be where all the chaos happens. And having just finished Once Upon a Broken Heart, I really wanted to read this soon, just so I didn't forget anything that happened. And also, because of how that book ends, I was like, I have none of the answers that I want. Which hopefully I will get in this one. And I've just heard so much about this, and apparently it's the best one in the series, so we'll see. We'll see. And then we have The Co-Worker by Frida McFadden, which you can't really go wrong with a Frida McFadden, and this is one that I've been really intrigued by. And then last but not least, we have Mile High by Liz Tomford, which I feel like is going to take me half the month to read because it's so chunky. I've been really wanting to read this soon, just because I keep seeing it literally everywhere and I keep seeing everyone talking about it. And it's giving sports romance, which I'm so here for. So we have that one as well. And that's our TBR for the month of May. So they're the A-books that I will hopefully be reading this month. We'll see how we get on. We'll see how we get on. And that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for picking my monthly TBR again with me this month. And I will hopefully see you in my next video.